Hi, I'm Gonk, and I have the largest LEGO Spider-Man collection of over 250 different minifigures. This is part 2 of my showcase of all of them, and in this video I'm going to focus on the ones based off the MCU and the TV shows. And we are going to start over here with this Daily Bugle newspaper I built. One of the big things when I was designing this is I wanted to display all my minifigures in fun, dynamic action poses rather than just, setting them up next to each other on a wall. And as you look closer, there's actually an entire article I wrote behind these characters, so let's take a closer look at that. In order to make this article, I lined up hundreds of these one-by-one tiles here. It was very tedious. The article is titled Spider-Menace. Of course, it's written by J. Jonah Jameson, and this is mostly lines of his from No Way Home. And then to kind of break up the text, I have this picture here that is meant to be the purple cracks in the sky above the Statue of Liberty. And now let's take a closer look at the figures. So up top here, we have the Vulture versus the homemade Spider-Man suit. And then over here, we have Mysterio and the black suit. And I use that life preserver to reference his spider sense. And then moving to the bottom, we have characters from No Way Home. And I've upgraded almost all of these minifigures. I'll share later on in the video what pieces I used to do that. One of my favorite things is how I inset the sand for like Sandman and it actually like spills over the edge of the newspaper. It was really fun to make. And then moving to this gray box on the side, I have a ton of the different suits that Peter 1, 2, and 3 have worn. I'm honestly not sure what this is supposed to be in the context of the newspaper, but it looks cool. So let's take a closer look at some of the MCU Spider-Figs, because there's a few more that don't fit on this newspaper. Here we have Peter 1, aka Tom Holland Spider-Man, and half of these are customs. I have the homemade suit, which I'm surprised we've never gotten from a Lego set. Hopefully we'll get one, official one at some point. And then we have the varsity school jacket, and then that civilian version is custom as well. I would love to use the torso from the Far From Home sets that has like the little bit of the spider suit showing, but I'm actually using that for my comic Spider-Punk, so can't be using it here. And I also want to interject, these are the parts you need for the arms for Iron Spider, and obviously, this times 4. And these are superposable, which is important to me because I love making dynamic fight scenes. And here are Tom Holland's suits post-Endgame. Most of them are just, straight from Lego with a few upgrades, mostly on the arms. And then that one in the end is his final swing suit, which I hope we officially get in Lego when Spider-Man 4 comes around. Moving on to Peter 2, aka Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. On the left, I have 2 official figures from the 2003 sets, which I'm so happy to have in my collection. And then we have Pizza Time Parker and Bully Maguire. And then just, the standard one from the No Way Home set. And then finally, in the end, we have the youth pastor Spider-Man, or the civilian look for the older Tobey Maguire. And then moving on to Peter 3, aka Andrew Garfield. On the left, we just have a civilian version of him, and then his homemade suit, which unfortunately there's no good face for, so it's just a red head. And then we have the Amazing Spider-Man 1 suit, the suit from the No Way Home sets, and then the lab coat suit, just because I love the look of a lab coat on any character, so I had to try to make that in Lego form. So I've showcased all the Spidey figs based off the movies, but what about the television screen? I think it's time we move on to the greatest Spider-Man in the history of the Web of Life and Destiny. Takuya Yamashiro, the emissary from hell, Spider-Man. So for those that don't know, there was a Japanese Spider-Man show in the 70s that is so crazy but so fun. And the most well-known thing about it is that Spider-Man has a mech. So the mech's name is Leopardon, and it does use minifig parts. So if you take a minifig and remove the arms, you can put this superhero action pose piece and slot it into the arm socket there. It does technically damage the piece, but still you can take it back out, put an arm back in there, works like normal, and then you can get these bigger sized minifigs as you can see here. And then the leg, you just need to get one of these round pieces on the torso, and then these ball joints and mixel joint pieces. And then I usually use a skirt or something, some hip attachment basically. And then you can get, it's not the, the most posable, but it's helpful to make, larger scale minifigures that aren't, the size of a Hulk or something like that. I do eventually want to make a full scale Leopardon, one that Spider-Man could actually fit inside, but I don't know how to build mechs, so I'm learning to do that, but that is definitely something I want to finish by the end of the year. Moving on to other TV shows, we have Spidey and His Amazing Friends. This is like a kindergarten age show, but we have gotten official minifigs for it. And in the back are all those dinosaur versions of the characters, which we just got at the start of 2025. Moving on to other TV shows, we have Spider-Man Unlimited and Spectacular Spider-Man. I actually showed these in my previous showcase where I went through all of my customs off the Spider-Verse films, so go check that out after this video. I also have the homemade suit from the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man show, and I do technically have some of the other suits that showed up in the show, but those are based off the comic version, so I will get to them in a future showcase. Moving into some pseudo Spider-Man, we have Agent Spider from the Invincible show. He is voiced by Josh Keaton, aka Spectacular Spider-Man, so I'm gonna count him. And then we have a few characters from TV shows that have dressed up as Spider-Man. So on the left, we have Troy Barnes from Community, and then Mitchell Pritchett from Modern Family. Not from a TV show, but we have the It's Wednesday, My Dude guy from Vine, and then Frank from It's Always Sunny dressed as Man Spider. So there we go, all my Spidey figs based off both the movies and TV shows. But you might be asking, how do you make these for yourself? Well, if you check out the link in the description, I actually made this document that has all of my customs and the parts that I used for it. It took a ton of time to make, so if you utilize it, please consider subscribing because I'm going to keep updating this. I have all of my customs from the previous showcase, and I will continue to upgrade it with every new showcase in this series. Hopefully that document is easy to follow, but if you have any questions, just leave them down in the comments below. But that brings us to the end of this video. Thank you all so much for watching. Please consider subscribing to see the next video in this showcase, all my customs based off the Insomniac games. But until then, have fun and keep building.